some bits up off my floor, sorry. And this is a serious video now, yeah? When I do a serious video, I can't help but laugh. That's what fucks me up. And kind of fucks everyone else up too. Let me just say that again. For people who didn't understand. That's what fucks everyone else up too. There it is. Yeah. And quick judgment, assumption, riding on assumption, baby. Assumption, surfing on that assumption. On that fucking bullshit. Fucking kick flips and shit. I wanna see me. That's you're gonna be alright. And you know, sometimes you do. But there are those which do be alright. Riding that rim of reality. Yeah? And they kind of are alright, but they often have close encounters, shall we say, with either uncovering. I'm being a little bit multi-dimensional here, yeah? Covering all areas, yeah? So whether you're bombing down a Swiss alpine road, bendy road that's quite steep, on a longboard with your top off, no pads, no fucking protection whatsoever, not even helmet, and you're ripping down there fast as fuck, overtaking fucking sports cars and shit, yeah? And at corners you have to go and put your hand, and the only protection you got is actually gloves with some metal bits in it, so you know they don't wear out so easily. And you know, that's a bit of a thrill, absolutely. That's a rush, proper rush. That is better than crack shit compared to that. Bombing down a hill doing that shit, yeah, definitely. And guess what, people? It's natural buzz, yet dangerous, nonetheless. So you could say that there's no difference. Some may argue, but most people don't have access to alpine roads to throw themselves down on longboards, do they? I'm off on track again. I get high by myself sometimes. And saying that, I'm not high. I want to just open this film, it kind of sends me into this. It's like picking up from where it was before, maybe. Not sure. But there's been something which has gone on. And it's all absolute. Beyond any, like I said, even a primary school teacher could look at this. It's not even a hypothesis, it's an account, factual account over time. Written, documented, recorded of a demonstration of a cycle, yeah? And a lot of people can vouch for this. It's not getting spoken about though in the media, is it? So I'm going to be on the news there. Imagine that, fucking 9 o'clock news. Doo, doo, doo. There's been a new finding. There's been what's known as a 10-year, maybe 11-year cycle in people's lives that not only they can account for, but so can their children too, because they've become of age to think properly, and it's been identified. So it takes about 22 years, the potentials start at 22. Yes, that's where the potential starts. So it's not like immediately apparent as soon as you get to 22, so don't worry about it. It won't be like you're immediately downloaded or imbued with this information, people. But I love this window, so get a good look out. It's my crow's nest. What I was going to say is, everything's been done anyway. As I said, what's tragic could be tragic. What has become tragic and is irreparable, as in irreparable, has to be. That's the way it has to be. You know? No one said this is going to be fucking easy. You know, as in like a... So, I mean, there will be people who obviously are accountable. Can't exactly grasp that factor. And will so be of their own detriment type of thing. Nothing to do with me. Nothing to do with me. Anyway, my name is Simon Evans, and I go under the name of Scienturio Evans on YouTube. The Anturio thing might as well be a second name for me, but it was initially a name that was thought of calling me before I was born, but I wasn't born for a while. So my dad, at the time, before I was born, by the way, named his, he had a bespoke company called Anturio, which dealt in tailor-made tweeds, cloths, cuts. If you send your measurements, you get a tweed suit, Welsh wool, with whatever lining you want, type shit, tailor-made. Anyway, it was called Anturio, and it was founded in, well, not founded, yeah, kind of, yeah, 1971, yeah. Anyway, long story short, that kind of did his bit for a bit, but then he started working for the call board. And I'm not talking about my dad now, but that's the history of Anturio. That's where it comes on. That's where I took over the name, because it was still registered as business. Anyway, the SY thing, that's what I was going to get on about. the SY was a recommendation from someone. I don't know if I should name him. Might as well. It was from Becky. She knows who she is. Becky Rose. Because she said, because there was a lot of Simons around at that time. There was loads. I don't know why. It was a cluster of Simons at that particular time. There was loads of us. Of course, Simon loved it. Cy Edge, Cy Blue. You know, there's loads. So there's a few others. So everyone's got SI in it, so I thought, and Becky goes, why don't you put SY? Looks cooler. And I thought, it's pretty sound advice. So I just did that. You know what I mean? I was like leaving notes and shit. It's long before text and mobile phones. You had to put like write a little note out and stick it on the fridge. Kids with the magnets and stick it on the fridge in the hopes that your friend would find it. Knowing fully well that they were going to head to the fridge at some point. That's the premium source of appliances in the house. A fridge, you know, or a cooler box. Somewhere where there's food and drinks. So you put your own note on that, really. Get off one again. Anyway, so that's my history, yeah? My name's Simon Evans. Simon David Evans. And David's the family name, I guess. My dad's called David Roger Evans, but he's always been known as Roger. That's why we call him the Jolly Roger. And this resonates right the way through, back through time, weirdly. In a good way. It's not like a show-offy way at all, because we all have want to share the non-perfection. I want to share the imperfection. That's what I should say. Share the imperfection that we all have, that we're all not guilty of, yet we are. Well, we're certainly not responsible sometimes for our own imperfections. We're not responsible for them. But as far as any guilt goes, you know, maybe there's quite a lot of guilty people out there. I want to kind of see what I want to do in my life. So what I want to do for the world and humanity. Sounds strange, doesn't it? But is rid them of their guilt. Because that's what holds them back. Their guilt. That's the ball and chain. Those are the bars. The bars and the chains. Simply guilt. So, how do we do this when people are actually quite guilty of shit? You know, every day we're guilty. And even if they deny it to themselves, deny it, whatever they've done. I'm talking to extremities here, right? Say something that went to court, guilty as fuck, found guilty, we caught you. Yet in their minds they think that, yeah, but like, I know I did it, but they would just justify it in some sort of way. But you know, clinical psychopath person, for instance, who is now going into death row, for instance, one of those type of characters. How do we deal with those type of guilt? Are they ridden? Are they guilt ridden? Do they realise? Some people don't, do they? And you know, as we are learning on this learning curve about people, is that some people are stubborn, very stubborn. They really are, to the detriment of others, to the detriment of themselves, to the detriment of evolution, of the process, the natural evolving process for humanity and its mindset to progress. It takes everything to do that. So yes, it does take craziness. Yeah. Takes a bit of everything, really, in order to navigate these seas. But it takes control. Because it always has had control. And that's love, baby. Love's the main control, yeah. Till it doesn't stop. Alright, so that's about me, yeah? And shake my head in disappointment. It's alright though. We can get through this somehow. Anyway, I've got nothing to hide. That's why you had to be someone like me to do this. To do what? To fucking expose this. Don't ask for what, please. Well, you can if you want. And if you do, you may have your be rushed into surgery for your lip to be permanently buttoned. Buttons, yes. Maybe put a zip lock on it, or a couple of poppers. Like those metal popper things on your lip. Occasionally you can pull them open if you want to, in order to speak, but otherwise, button it. Yes. Alright, people look, truly look at the archive of, yeah, the archival archive of evidence of this going on, which I identified in the first place. I'm not being weird, people, right? But then it was an experience for me to realise how either lost, deluded, disconnected, sketchy, fascinated, but like superficially fascinated. How fake everything was. And that includes people. Yep. Indeed, includes people. And because I've always been on my own, it's not any pity. This is what they did try and pick on. No, I'm saying I'm on my own, right? So this is why I have this perspective. I'm not going, I'm on my own. No, I've got nothing else to compare to apart from looking at all you lot. And that's you lot, yes, because you've nothing to do with me. Really. Because you think like that, and I think like this. And I'm saying it from my perspective, of which I kind of got a little bit annoyed about, yeah? So I'm building up a mountain of evidence. A mountain of evidence, right? And this is where I can get a bit cocky because it's quite a lot. Believe me, people, it's quite a lot of shit. It does really, it exposes something, but also, in order to look at it all, you have to realise that what's been exposed was someone's mindset in the first place. Yeah? So, when it got exposed, their last resort was to actually blame shift the responsibility onto an actual mindset in the public at large, and that is NPD. Okay, look it up, NPD. So these were their troops, basically, These are the drones, or the Attack of the Drones, yeah. The Nox. Getting cool now, eh? Getting too cool for you. Yeah, bitch. Fucking hell. Wish I was on that bike. On the back of it. No helmet. Hanging on the back. Ah, yeah. Fucking buzzing. Smoking crack like that. Bombing down the road like that. Still on the back of the bike though. Got one of those fucking windproof pipes in it. Joking. Now I do wish I on that bike, actually riding it though. Driving it proper. Not with a gal on the back. Doing what I just said then. If you can catch up. Or do a rewind on that video. Don't matter. Anyway, you bunch of sluts. Because that's what you are, really. When I say sluts, you are. I got a visitor.